Hey guys, welcome to Not So Random Chat, the nighttime live stream where we talk about whatever we want to. So, settle in and grab your libation. It could be your wine or tea or coffee or whatever you want to drink. And let's just sit back and chill. I'll be with you in a moment. Are you guys ready? Okay, well, so am I. So let's get into it. Here I come. Hola from the west side. Sorry guys, I was multitasking. I was multitasking. All right, so let me use my inside voice because I forget my mic is hot. And so there is like no, but you know, I have to say, I love how my background shows up on here with my little purple bulb floating in the peaceful lagoon. Anyway, let me come on camera for you guys. So, hold on. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I got on my green, but you know, I got on a purple hat. Yeah, it's kind of a light lime-ish green, but yeah, I got on some green, and then you know, I gave you guys like a, you know, more of a green kind of cozy den background for today. So I'm gonna get into what we're gonna be talking about first. Let me just put this in there. See if it gives me what I want. Okay, so we're gonna start it out tonight on this St. Patrick's Day, you know, and talk about the money. Okay, because money's, you know, at least, you know, the money that we're used to The money that we're used to is green in the United States. But I told you guys, they're trying to push us to paperless digital currency. Regional banks. Oh, my libation is Pinot Grigio. We're back to Pinot Grigio tonight. So, but when I came on here earlier this week, I told you, that we need to be watching, because there are going to be banks, just watch to make sure the banks, where you are staying solvent. And I told you the fourth one, I told you all about Credit Suisse, and I told you about First Republic. Well, since then, 11 major, bigger banks have come in to bail out First Republic. Now, you have to wonder why all these bigger banks are jumping in to bail out this California bank, because First Republic is here in California. One day I'll do a story time about my interview when I went and interviewed for them, and about how it was the first time that, it was blatant that my skin color was a problem for one of the people. But that's a story time for another day. Because your girl DC has no intention of ever working in anybody's office again. Yeah. Not unless it's my own office, for my own company. Yeah, that part. But let's talk about the fact that 11 banks came in and did a $30 billion bailout of First Republic. Let's talk about it, shall we? Because, one of these banks might be your bank. Let me turn down this, turn this music down, because I don't want to compete with the music. I don't want to compete. Okay, there we go. That's better. That's better. Okay. So this is coming from thehill.com. Okay. And let me make sure that I turn the sound down so that the iPad does not have me having any copyrighted information coming up. Okay. So First Republic Bank of California, because they don't put that part in there. First Republic Bank of California is getting bailed out by large banks in a $30 billion plan. Let me tell you who some of the players are. Bank of America, Citigroup, JP Morgan Chase, and Wells Fargo. And I will tell you that although we see it saying Bank of America, Nations Bank owns Bank of America. But Bank of America is better branding than Nations Bank. So therefore, all of the Nations banks pretty much became Bank of America. And Wells Fargo is owned by one of the insurance companies. I can't remember which one. Yeah. But so the banks that I just named are pretty much the big four. You know, B of A, Citi, JP Morgan Chase, and Wells Fargo. Those are the big banks. And you have to wonder what is in it for them to be bailing out a California bank. But now what I will tell you about First Republic Bank is that their clientele tends to be wealthy. Hey, Grillin. And so it wouldn't even surprise me if somebody who is an executive of some sort in one of these banks has their own accounts there. You know, but they have like a wealth management. They have a wealth management department and all of that stuff. So let's talk about it. And as I said, this is coming from thehill.com. The show of support by a group of large banks is welcomed and demonstrates the resilience of the banking system, is said in comments. Bank of America, Citigroup, JP Morgan Chase, and Wells Fargo are each donating $5 billion. The banks announced in a statement. Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley are depositing $2.5 billion each. Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley are also pretty big. The actions of America's largest banks reflects their confidence in the country's banking system, the group of 11 banks said. Together, we are deploying our financial strength and liquidity into the largest system where it is needed the most. Now, what we have to also remember is that during the Big Short, we had to bail out, the country bailed out these banks. So you know what? Absolutely, they need to fix this themselves. We do not need the federal government jumping in here for each and every bank. I'm just saying. The fact that they did drop in for Silicon Valley Bank and for Signature Bank, the first two, we haven't heard anything about them jumping in for Credit Suisse First Boston. But they appear to be shaky right now, so that's not a good thing. The bank-to-bank bailout, which had the blessing of the U.S. government, came as First Republic faced the threat of an exodus from investors and depositors. Now, I've already said that people are going to start to make runs on these banks to get their money. First Republic stock fell 66% over the last week in concerns that the bank wouldn't have enough cash to handle an influx of withdrawals. First Republic, like Silicon Valley Bank, has used a large chunk of its deposits on long-term investments that lost value over the past year. Now, see, you have to wonder what the F are these banks doing with your deposits? Because they take the money that you put in the banks and they use that money. And clearly, Silicon Valley and First Republic Bank don't know how to, are not very good at investing money. They put it into risky investments and it lost. Rating agency Moody's downgrading First Republic this week, noting that the high rate of uninsured deposits would prompt depositors to swiftly move their monies elsewhere. See, I just don't understand. I mean, basically the way it's set up is that you can only put $250,000 in a bank. Oh, thank you, Miss Poetic Kills, for joining the membership. Hey, sis. I don't even understand. The law tells you guys in FDIC that you're only insured up to $250,000, period, point blank. And that's across all your deposits. That basically is telling you if you put more than $250,000 in the bank, deposit at your own risk. Isn't that kind of crazy? And I don't even know if they could have covered all of those deposits. If people make a run on every freaking bank, would they be able to cover all the deposits? I'm just saying. Okay, so in regards to First Republic, if they were to face higher than anticipated deposit outflows and liquidity backstops proved insufficient, the bank would need to sell assets, thus crystallizing an unrealized loss in its securities. See, I'm telling you guys, this is not the same as The Big Short, but it's still something to look at. See, with The Big Short, we were dealing with risky mortgage loans. Okay? Everybody was doing these freaking stated loans. They were doing stated loans, they were doing bank statement loans, and they were treating them like they were full doc loans. And a full doc loan is when you you prove your income. Okay? But they were using stated income and they were using bank statements for people who should be able to show their income. I don't know, like a teacher. And people would say that they were making amounts that were unrealistic, and lenders were allowing them to do that. Then, when the market popped, people started losing their jobs, and those loans that they had, which were like, many of them were like 5-year fixed. Guess what? The 5 years was coming up, and they were going into ARM rate loans, and the ARM interest rates was going to push them into the double digits. That's when you had places like NACA show up, and you had all of these loan mods trying to save everybody's house so that half the country wouldn't be homeless. But here's the weird thing in regards to the homeless situation. We have more houses
that are empty in this country than there are people homeless. hmm They could give all those empty houses that are just sitting there with nobody occupying them. Yeah, but that would be too much like right. But like I was saying, this is not the same as what happened back then. This is this is a different type of thing because see, now the they're taking our deposits. See, it's our deposits that are being used. Back then it was houses. And see, at the end of the thing, if you couldn't pay, they could take the real estate back. But see, with this, if they lose your money, are you going to get your money back? Are you going to get your money back? So that's why I'm highly suggesting that we just diversify where we have our money. All the money should not be in the bank. And I'm not saying it should be in stocks and but it needs to be multiple places because I don't know if we can trust the banks to hold on to our money safely. And then here's the thing. I mean, are we really getting any interest on the money in the bank? Like, you know, checking accounts and savings accounts and money market accounts, CDs, they're like, yeah, pennies. They barely give you any interest, even if you have an interest bearing account. So we put our money in banks because unfortunately that's one of the acceptable ways of being able to do transactions and everything. And I'm not saying not have a bank account, but I'm just saying that shouldn't be the only place that your money is. That should not be the only place because look at what happened. Now see, with these banks like Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank, the reason the government jumped in was because big corporations had their money in those banks. If those banks had been banks that just had me and you and John Q. Public, that wouldn't have happened. But they did it because it was affecting those corporations, and those corporations affected what it trickles down to John Q. to John Q. Public. The people who work for them. So, kind of. But we also know that after what happened with the Big Short, the federal government is never going to do that kind of bailout that they did back then. Even though, all of that happened pretty much under a Democratic president like we have now. But come on, the president we have now, I honestly don't know what the F he's doing. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Hey Terry, hey Peace Love. I don't know what he's doing. But as I promised you guys, I'm going to be watching what's going on with these banks because see, I just got to watch it. It's the industry that I'm in, and and what's going on, these things, this stuff, this is going to start to have effect on us as the general public and our access to money, and money being freely available, but for it also having a value on it, because I really don't know what the dollars that we have in our wallets are really worth. They say they're worth something, but I'm not sure, because it's not backed up by gold like it used to be. So I don't know. So I'm gonna move on to my next thing. I wanted to talk about something that's probably, let me see if I can get to it. The origins of today. Origins of St. Patrick's Day. How they say that there was a potato famine in Ireland, and that's why St. Patrick is the patron saint of Ireland. Okay. So let's look at this. And it keeps trying to give me the little stupid stuff that's on here. This is coming from time.com, y'all. Okay. So modern St. Patrick's Day celebrations, at least in the United States, are likely to be characterized by commercial, Lucky Charms, and green beer, all of which has very little to do with the historical figure of the saint. As it turns out, it took centuries for the holiday to accrue the elements that now seem crucial to its celebration. The March 17th celebration started in 1631 when the church established a feast day honoring St. Patrick. He had been patron saint of Ireland, who had died during the 5th century, a whopping 12 centuries before the modern version of the holiday was first observed. But very little is known about who he actually was, according to a professor of Irish studies at the New York University. Okay, so let's see. It says, we know that he was a Roman citizen because Britain was Roman then, and that he was enslaved and taken to Ireland, where he either escaped or was released. And then he became a priest and went back to Ireland, where he had a lot of luck converting the Druid culture into Christian. I didn't know that they had Druid culture in Ireland. I don't know why I attributed that more. Well, yeah, I guess, it is Celtic. Yeah, I guess it is Celtic. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. I know somebody who practiced, who was into the Druid stuff. Worked with them. It was nicest person. I mean, nicest guy. But if you know anything about the Druids, you would understand why I'm just like, yeah. So let's see. Let me go back. Okay, so legend has that St. Patrick was actually born Mav Suscat, but that he changed his name to Patrick, which is derived from the Latin term for father figure, after he became a priest, and that supposed luck of his is the root of all the themed merchandise for modern St. Patrick's Day. Let's see. It wasn't until the 18th century that many of today's traditions were kicked into high gear since the holiday fell during Lent. It provides Christians a day off from the prescription of abstinence. Yeah, it gives them a day to, for debauchery, an excuse to drink. I don't need an excuse to have my glass of wine, though. Cheers. And supposedly, like, on both sides of my family, because unfortunately, if you are part of the diaspora, you got some palm colored in you. And we know, my father's last name and my mother's last name were both Irish. And on my mom's side, yeah, we had some that had started out, this color, but had moved to this color. And then on my dad's side, well, I told you the Irish part, that's a whole nother story. Whole nother story. So let's see. See, I'm looking for the potato famine thing. I think that part's a myth. I think that part's a myth. I hate when it does this. When you go to a website and then you try to leave it and it doesn't want to let you go. It tries to show you all these other freaking stories. Notime.com. I don't want to see anything else. See, because I don't see nothing in here about the potatoes. All I see is that he was responsible for converting Druids to Christians, and it also talks about that he was the cause of over almost 800 Druids to be unalived. See, that's part of my conflict with, not with Christianity, really with Roman Catholicism, because up until you had folks like Martin Luther, Christianity was Roman Catholicism unless you were part of the Eastern Orthodox, which was the Church of Byzantine. I guess they call it the Greek Orthodox. And today, yeah, and there's no Pope. I think they have the bishop. Yeah, it was, but anyway, during this time, it was just Roman Catholicism, and their brand of Christianity had a lot of paganism involved in it. And I grew up in the Catholic Church. Not Catholic anymore. If you want to know why I'm not Catholic, go check out my TikTok. I talk about it. I talk about it. There's a thing on there going on in regards to church horror stories, and I give mine, which tells why I'm not. But there's a lot of stuff in there that, with the unaliving of people, if they did not go along with what the church said, you know, and, you know, in that being said, the Spanish Inquisitions are not what the church tells us they were about, you know, you know, the Roman Catholic Church has done a lot of foul stuff. Hmm. A lot of foul stuff. But moving right along, I'm looking to see if anything in here is talking about, the potatoes. I'm gonna put in a potato famine. Potato famine. Let me just see. Hmm. Okay. So let me just see what this has to do. Cause I know there's something about this freaking famine. God, I have rented lips tonight, y'all. Okay. Although St. Patrick's Day, and this is coming from the Indian Express journalism of courage, whatever their website. Although St. Patrick's Day has been celebrated for centuries, it was not until the early 18th century that many of the current traditions began. In the United States, though, St. Patrick's Day celebration was first characterized by Irish nationalism and Catholic resistance. That's very interesting, since St. Patrick is supposedly a Catholic patron saint, but I digress. When an unprecedented wave of Irish migration swept across the United States, across the American colonies, following the Irish potato famine. Okay, that's where the freaking famine came from. The famine is the reason why so many Irish brought their butts over to the United States. Okay, I got it. That's it. But I knew that there was something about the famine and St. Patrick's Day. Okay, following the famine, it was accompanied by a corresponding spike in anti-Irish sentiment. Celebrating St. Patrick's Day therefore became an act of resistance and often assimilation among the Irish immigrants. Hmm. That doesn't make sense to me, but okay. Okay, but that's the. Hey James, I guess that's where the potato famine came in. I knew there was a potato famine in there, y'all. I knew. But yeah, today, I know the bars have the green beer, okay? And, if you're Irish, you're supposed to be wearing some green, you know. And, some of us people who are people of color, fortunately or unfortunately, however you want to look at it, have some of that Irish blood running through us, the European part. But, you know, I'm not really into green beer. Okay. Not feeling the green beer. And I'm, you know, hanging out at the bar, getting, you know, pissy drunk. Yeah. I can remember the last time I got like drunk, and it was a long time ago, and it was right after my mom died. Hmm. Yeah, I did a lot of bad things, right then, because I was grieving, and I didn't know how to handle it. Didn't know how to didn't know how to handle the fact that I had lost my mama. You know, did not know how to handle it at all, at all. So now I have my stuff on there. I wanted to talk about this little Ice Spice girl. So Ice Spice is another one of the Bronx girls, the Bronx, New York girls. And she's like a little rapper. And she looks like she's a child, but she's not. And I believe just recently, uh, Kim K had her come over to entertain North. Now, how old is North? What is North? 9, 10 years old, maybe 11. Because I think Blue Ivy's older than her. But what the F is Kim doing? How old is this little girl? How old is North? She can't be more than she can't be more than 10 or 11. Go back. No. Northwest. Kanye's kid. You gotta say who it is. Kanye's daughter. Yeah, there you go. You gotta put in his. Otherwise, they think you're talking about something. She's 9 years old. She's 9 years old. And this girl, Ice Spice. How old is this little girl? Ice Spice. She was born in 2000, so she's 20. She'll be 23 this year. No, she is 23 because she was born on January the 1st. So, Kim, you have a 23-year-old woman to come over on a play date with your 9-year-old child. Are you effing kidding me? I'm gonna have to go with Kanye on this one. But see, Kanye, you knew what you were doing, sir. You knew what you were doing when you chose to have children with Kim Kardashian. You knew who these people were. Mm-hmm. And you wouldn't deal with the handlers. And anyway, let me not talk about the handlers. But yeah, you expect that she's not going to understand that something's wrong with her having a 23-year-old woman there with your daughter. You know, I mean, she's already pissed off because you went and got married again, and she has no one. And she took all the, well, some of the, I guess, stuff out of her, which is probably a wise decision. Speaking of taking things out of their bodies, Black China's out here taking all of the stuff that she put into her, and she had that freaking silicone. Jesus, what is wrong with y'all? What is wrong with y'all? That is like, she had that stuff turns into rocks. So she got all that stuff taken out of her behind. And I guess she got her implants taken out of her boobies. And then I believe she had got lip fillers. Black girls, what are you doing getting lip fillers? Why is a black woman getting lip fillers? What? And then she had gotten fillers in her cheeks. And see, I have naturally high cheekbones. I'm not letting you stick a needle into my face or into my lips. And my dad, the dermatologist, that's some of the stuff that they go to dermatologists. They don't always go to the plastic surgeon for that. They'll go to the dermatologist, or they go to the esthetician for the collagen shots. But it sounds like she had something permanently put in there. What would you permanently put in your freaking face? What would you put in your face permanently? In your lips? I'm trying to understand. I mean, thankfully she got the stuff. She's taking people through the journey with her to educate, and I really hope that women stop putting this stuff in the temporary, I don't know, effects of that stuff do not outweigh the long-term deadly effects of putting silicone in your. I'm glad with what God gave me. I'm gonna keep my little booty, okay? It's good. It's good enough for who I'm with. He ain't got no problems with it. Okay, it's real. It ain't sagging. The boobies are real. They ain't down to my stomach. So we good. We good. It's all about loving yourself. And I'm not knocking getting, people getting these BBLs and everything, but when you are putting, you're taking fat and putting fat in another place. Fat is fat, and fat makes more fat. And if you're not going to exercise, hi, B-Love, you're not going to exercise, then what the hell are you doing a BBL for? You're just wasting your time. You're just wasting your time. Okay? And speaking of B Love, now some Dusty has fallen out of the sky and is trying to go around YouTube to get somebody to interview him, saying that he had an affair with B Love. Girl, what? What? Seriously, B Love? You were having relations with this Dusty, and now you're not talking to him, so now he's exposing it. And his story is supposedly of before, she got big on YouTube. And now he's trying to come on here with a mukbang channel. Now, let me just say something to y'all who come on here with these mukbang channels. Okay. Let Sister B Love be the cautionary tale. Okay. You cannot get on here and be eating all that salty food, fried food, that's going to clog up your arteries, that is going to send you towards pre-diabetes, and think that you're going to just be able to go get a BBL and make that stuff go away and not do any exercises. Because one of the people that I watch, what's his name, Troy's Destin, yeah, he also mukbang, but we've watched him change what he was eating, and he has lost all this weight. And we've seen other people who mukbang change what they were eating. They continue to mukbang. Why can't you do that, B Love? And girl, why would you be with that Dusty? Why would you do that, dude? I don't understand this. See, I mean, of course, we don't know what's going on in her home or anything, but have you noticed that her husband has started to get healthier, and he's losing weight while she's gaining weight? She's blamed it on menopause, which I told you that ain't true. No. Because I'm way older than you. The men been paused, and I ain't walking around here becoming no hippo. You wasted all that money on a BBL, but your ass does not exercise. You cannot do a BBL and not exercise, because the fat's just going to become fat. Shouts out to Tasha K for explaining it out there. It's visceral fat. The fat that you can't seem to get rid of in your midsection. So you're going to take that from your midsection and put it in your behind. Well, it's just going to come back in your midsection if you aren't out here exercising. And then you're going to probably get a whole lot more behind than you really want. That part. Get it natural. Cornbread, collard greens, eating the kind of food that's gonna get it. But yeah, I guess you don't really have a choice, because it's not gonna just go to your behind or to the hips or to the thighs or wherever it is that you want it to go. It's gonna go everywhere. So I guess it's just better to just go ahead and put those poisons in your body. But now y'all paying. And now everybody's trying to get that stuff out of their bodies. And y'all watching people like Black China. And let me just say this for the record. Black China and her mother, Tokyo Tony, are not representations of women from DC. They not it. We don't act like those two. Okay? Maybe they act like them women from Palmer Park or from Valley Green in Southeast. But no. Mm-mm. That's not what we act like. We don't act like them too. Yeah. So I had to put that out there. And really not like Tokyo Tony. Because she's a true embarrassment. True embarrassment. Let me see what y'all saying. They need a BBL. I don't know. Them BBLs. Oh, but they do have it. They do have that enlargement surgery out there for some guys. I don't know, because I if that's your issue, that's not my ministry. It's not my ministry. The tiny peen is not my ministry. Not my ministry. Nope. I don't know who's gonna help y'all out, and I heard that surgery is pretty expensive, so probably most of the ones who need the help don't have the money to get the surgery. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, but nope, guys. The BBLs that is not the way to go. I commend Black China on getting all of that stuff out of her, but that's dangerous in the first effing place. It's just dangerous. I'll just be the skinny girl till the day I die. I'm good. But I'm not that skinny. I do have some curves. They there. But I ain't gotta. I don't get up on YouTube because I'm 60 and shake my butt because I'm 60. Okay. And let me say this one more time, because Dovey, everybody knows, girl, that you're not afraid of nobody on here. Okay, you not fearing for your life, girl. I'm not buying it. And 55 is not old. Okay, it's not old. I know it's not old. We all know that you don't fear for your life for somebody who's not even talking to you. Y'all just figure because something is going on in her life off YouTube, because she has a life off of YouTube, that y'all gonna come on here with this foul-ish. I'm not even understanding. Now I'm from the DMV, so I'm gonna say just leave Shelly alone. She ain't effing with you. You look like a effing fool coming on here, calling the the law on live, and talking about that you're an old woman at 55. We know that you full of ish, and the police do too. So now you just got them watching more channels on YouTube. I mean, we already got what supposedly Carnival Cruise on alert for the juicycation and all these vacations that are about to drop at the end of the summer, and you just trying to put y'all are tripping. Why are we taking YouTube stuff offline? What the F is going on? And you're not a good enough actress, because I could tell that you was faking the funk. I'm fearing for my life. Fearing you saying what you saying, but we don't believe you, because then you turn around and start talking about a cold case. You guys are trying to put that young lady's family through stuff over y'all's bullshit on YouTube. I'm sorry. There's nothing that somebody did on effing line that would call for you to do some bullshit like that. Did she pull up to your house? Did she come to your house? No? Okay, I didn't think so. That's crazy. Y'all on some bullshit. And then there's another young lady on here. Y'all called the cops and CPS on her because she was doing what we can legally do, open hand, spanking a child with a diaper on the diaper. So this young lady has to show her video to the cops. And y'all are thinking it's funny calling CPS, not thinking about what that might do to these children, how they might be traumatized. Do any of y'all know what the foster care system is like? It doesn't matter what state or city you are in. Foster care is effed up. And children that are put into foster care are traumatized. And for you guys to call on some bullshit, keyboard bandits, that's who y'all are. You know, shame I have to say, I'm glad I don't have a child that's young enough for y'all to call CPS on. Y'all are crazy. Just for clicks and views, y'all do all this dramatic bullshit. Like, what? Mm-hmm. Oh no, I don't know what anybody's doing. I'm just saying. Calling up calling up people, calling up the police and the CPS on somebody online, like, you know, and I already know about people who are supposed to be mandatory reporters. Okay. But these weren't people who were mandatory reporters. These were just people trying to be messy and trying to mess up somebody's life. Now I know everybody on here is not a perfect mother, and I also think that the young ladies that are on here that have kids need to be careful about what they are showing of their real life online, even if they're in the mommy sector, because these people on this platform are weird, and forget that as content creators we're supposedly co-workers, and they choose to make our work environment a hostile situation for many people. And that's the reason why a lot of people just have backed off, and they just upload. They rarely come live because they don't want to deal with the mess. They back off. It shouldn't be like that, but it is. It is. But I know I've been on here for over an hour. Y'all know I don't do more than an hour. I don't do more than an hour, because why? People are not going to watch it if you're on here for more than an hour, number one. Number two, you should be able to say whatever it is that you have to say in an hour. Now, the people who are having the panels, well, panels can go on and on and on, but nobody's listening to 10-hour videos. Nobody's listening. And I got some stuff that I am going to be pushing out over the weekend. I'm going to put out at least one of the spotlights on the Hidden Figures. The one on Katherine Johnson, that one's ready to go. I'm probably going to do one on the character that Janelle Monáe played, because the lady who she played in real life was the first Black woman to matriculate through that program that she had to go through in order for her to work on certain things at NASA. And then the other lady, that Octavia Spencer, she was like one of the pioneers in Fortran, which is one of the older computer languages that they were using all the way up until the 80s. So all three of them are very, very interesting, but I'm going to do Katherine Johnson first because she just died in 2020, and she was, I think, over 100 years old when she left this earth, and that one's already done. All I have to do is schedule it for this weekend, so I'm going to push that one out for sure. I'm going to put out some more spoken word over on the Purple Diva Den, and the shorts are working over there because people are watching the shorts. 1 minute spoken words, YouTube shows them loves. They get a bunch of views. So I'm going to continue to put those out, put out some of the short ones. Then I'll go back to putting some of the longer ones that are like 3 to 4 minutes. Most of my poems are not more than maybe 4 or 5 minutes at the most when you put them into a spoken word. But I've been putting out the ones that are 1 minute, put them out in shorts, finding different ways to put them out. And I'm putting them out over on TikTok as well. I think I put it that I don't think I put it out on YouTube. I don't think I put it out on Instagram this time though. Let me find my outgoing thing. But yeah, I don't understand how y'all are and maybe it's just me because I'm trying to separate and I don't get invested in the stuff. And I've been on here for a long time, but again, I don't get that invested in stuff again. And I realized that we don't know each other. So I say what I say. It's my opinion. You know, I know y'all ain't gonna listen. Y'all just gonna be messy and keep doing the stuff that y'all doing because you like that click and view. You like that kind of negative attention. It doesn't matter. And that's fine. You know, and you don't care that you look foolish. I guess not, you know. All right, you guys, I am getting out of here. I will be back. I might come live this weekend, but more than likely I won't be back live until Monday. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. I will see y'all in these YouTube streets. I will be putting out some content over this weekend. But until I come live again, I offer you guys peace and blessings from the West Side. I'm out, you guys. Peace. Bye, guys.
Well, guys, that's it for tonight's Not So Random Chat. But I'll see you guys the next time. Until then, peace and blessings from the West Side. I'm out. Peace.